Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Town of Lake Clark Shores Town Council meeting, April 8, 2025. Emily, roll call, please.
Gregory Freebull.
Here.
John Maples.
Here.
Bridget Keating.
Present.
Taylor Materio.
Here.
Christy Musbach.
Here.
Okay, if we could rise for a moment of silence, and then Pastor will do an invocation and the pledges of allegiance for us. Tonight, we are going to have a moment of silence for Rita Ellis, who passed on 3/15/2025. She was 74 years old and the former mayor of Delray Beach. May perpetual light shine upon her, Lord. Pastor?
Our Father in heaven, we come to you tonight and we thank you, Lord, for the privilege of being here tonight. I thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to pray before this meeting tonight. I thank you, Lord, for a community that still believes in God, still believes in prayer. And Lord, we open this meeting tonight asking that you would just intervene in everything that's said and done tonight. Thank you for this great community. Thank you for these dear people tonight that sit up here on this board. Lord, I've been here many times to pray, and I'm impressed with their camaraderie. I'm impressed with how they work well together, how they care about each other, and how they care about this community. So Lord, tonight we would just pray for them that you would lead, guide, and direct, and have your perfect way and will in their life. Lord, as a pastor, I know not much is accomplished without unity. So I pray for unity tonight. I do thank you, Lord. We live in America. We can come and we can express our opinions and our disagreements and our different values or ways or whatever. But I thank you, Lord, that just put all that together. It helps us to see everything from a good angle and make the best decision. So Lord, help us to have sweet spirit tonight. Lord, I pray that you would just bless the meeting. Be with the dear family, Lord, that lost their loved ones. Lord, I just thank you for life, and I thank you for the Christian life. I thank you for life that you give us, Jesus. I thank you for that. Lord, again, I pray that you'd bless our police chief and all his workers tonight, all his police officers and all that are involved. And I just pray that you just keep them safe, watch over them, protect them, and may they just even feel appreciated by this community. So Lord, tonight, I just pray again that you just bless everything. May you be pleased. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Okay. Chief's here. We're going to start with audience comments. So who wants to go first? John? Oh, I'll get to you, Ashok. Ashok, come right up. Yes, sir, please. And Ann, I think you want to say something possibly too. We'll get everyone, I promise.
Good evening. My name is Ashok Kulkarni, address 8131 Westlake Drive. You know, the last meeting you discussed parking on the grass. What I want to mention is that, well, I'm on Westlake Drive. I got a large parking driveway, but there are times when that lot is going to be resurfaced with asphalt or something. That time, one has to park a car on the grass, you know, number one. Number two, luckily I got a good neighbors. Sometimes they have got a Christmas party, birthday party, and they invite their relatives and guests. That time there are so many cars, so they request, because I got a parking, driveway is big, but they got so many people, they ask me whether they can park their cars on my lawn. And I can say it is okay. And that it happens only night. They take that car away anyway, you know. And Westlake Drive, Pine Tree, the street is not very wide, so it's not a good idea to park cars on the street, you know. So all I'm just saying is that this is the kind of stuff, if you are coming up with ordinance, there should be some exception. You should consider that, That is all I'm telling you.
Thank you.
I think the spirit of that discussion was for those that are doing it on a consistent
Right.
basis.
But this is what happens.
Yes.
Not happens all the time. And so that
Yes.
is what I was, and another thing, this has nothing to do with the parking. Your speakers, they are all equal because many times some of you talk is not loud enough,
Hmm.
and some of you are very clear. That's why I thought I should mention that to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
just in
Thank you.
I saw a few Gator parties over the weekend with people parking on the grass too.
case.
Go Gators. I know there's a few Gators in the crowd.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Ashok.
Thanks,
you.
Ashok.
Thank you, Ashok.
Ann, did you want to come up? Ann, did you, no, you're okay? All right. I know I got a message. I called you back. I never heard from you. I figured you might want to, it was a couple weeks, 3 weeks ago almost now, but it's okay. All right, John, you have the floor. Come on up.
All right. It's been a minute. So good evening, Mayor, Joe, Charlie, good to see you.
See you.
Council members.
Good evening.
My name is John Studdard. Address is 1400 Caribbean Road East. Longtime resident, been here 20 years, almost as long as Greg. I'm the co-founder, along with my partner in crime, Mike Wade, back there of the Lake Clark Shores Yacht Club. Facebook page we started about 10, 11 years ago. Like all good ideas, it was hatched over a few drinks on a boat. Occasionally we get riled up about something, and we are riled up at this point. I'm here this evening to discuss a growing problem on our waterways, particularly the C-51 canal that runs down the east side of the town. Riders and boaters are speeding through the no-wake zones just south of the causeway around to the Mediterranean Bridge on the south end of the lake. The speed and recklessness is getting worse each weekend. This has been an ongoing problem for years, but it seems to be now exacerbated by the bridge. I've prepared two quick presentations tonight. First one is I did a 2-minute video to kind of illustrate the problem. It will articulate this much better than I could try to put words to it. I think it'll be impactful for you guys to kind of see what is actually going on. And then I put together a quick little slide deck to go over a couple of what I think is causing the problems, and then some suggestions or potential solutions to the problem. I didn't want to come here tonight just to complain. I wanted to work with the town to come up with some solutions before somebody really gets hurt. And so, there was an incident just the other night right behind Lynn's house. There were 5 jet skis that came tearing down the canal and swarmed around Delbert and Sharon. They were out for a cruise, and they came around that bend, went into the sun, couldn't see, and one of them hit Lynn's seawall and deck and broke stuff off, and then they fled. So, that's just one of many incidents that have been going on. I think there's probably a lot of things happening that aren't bubbling up to the police because nobody knows what to do about it. So the video is a montage of some drone footage I have, plus the security camera footage I have from my house. I've been kind of accumulating this since the first of the year. I pared down terabytes of video and hours of video into about a 2-minute video here. The first half of the video is drone footage. I sped it up for the interest of time. But the second half of the video is my security footage, and it's at real time. So you'll get a ground level view of how fast these guys are going. And there are a number of people here who've come tonight that I think are going to want to share some additional stories of their personal interactions with this group of BWC riders. We think there's a twofold problem. There's the reckless driving, but also the character of the people that are going through our town. And there's been some reports of guys brandishing guns from these jet skis when they get confronted. So if you want to play the video.
Nice music, John.
Pause.
That's where they sprayed your camera. Those jet skis are coming one way, close to the other. Huh? Yeah.
A lot of teenagers. This was from Sunday afternoon. Wakeboarding. Yeah, wakeboarding. There's two of them on this one. No life jacket. Spraying deck. Spraying people's yards. Like mine. Kids hanging off the front of the boat. Yes, this is real. This is in the. You can watch the time stamp at the upper corner. This guy's the fastest. And we finally got the police boat out there. We're making progress. So real quick, I just want to go through a couple of slides here and kind of talk about what I think some of the cause of this is. I think it's multiple things that are causing this. And I think there's going to be multiple solutions that we need to take on at the same time. So, okay. So really, this is a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, these guys, you saw these guys are going 40, 50 plus miles an hour down a 65-foot wide canal. You know, at that speed, you're covering 75 to 100 feet per second. And you got 30 feet on either side of you to make a decision. I mean, our canal, we got Rick comes out all the time on his boat. We have people who are talking about they don't go on the water anymore because of the interactions, the confrontations they've had with these guys. So if you want to go to the next slide. So, you know, there's three cohorts of riders that are going on. There's the notorious Hilton Wave Runner Club gang that has been there for 7-8 years. This goes back to when Chris Fisher was here, and we were actually making a dent in that when Chris was on the water on a weekend basis. We had a communication set up where we could text him if we saw people going, you know, northbound at the Keller Bridge or whatever, and he could go interdict and catch them. So there were a number of arrests, a number of tickets during that period, and we were starting to make some progress. And then, of course, Chris was a great cop, and he got promoted and went to West Palm. And then, as far as I know, there hasn't been a cop on the water since until recently. We got a young guy who's volunteered. So that's a step in the right direction. Next.
Conacher was out there after Chris.
Okay.
Right, Chief?
Mike said, yeah.
Okay.
We had a few.
This was just me being clever. I asked ChatGPT. I sent it the picture of from one of my cameras and asked it how fast it thought it was going. and it gave me a nice explanation here. It gave, mid 50s is what it's guessing. That's what I think these guys are doing, maybe even faster in some instances. Next slide. So the causes. So, first root problem is there's zero enforcement out here, whether it's LCS, FWC, Palm Beach Sheriff's Department. We are just nowhere as far as being having any enforcement on the water. The second thing I think is causing some of this problem, and this is from the yacht club and just having been on the water myself for years, our signs are terrible. I mean, we have faded and unreadable signs. They're inconsistent and poor placement. So, and a lot of times, if you're cruising by, it's on the inside canal and you don't even see it there. And they're inconsistent format and size. Some of them say slow speed, some of them say idle speed, some of them have an ordinance number on them, some of them don't. We need to get the signs squared away. That will probably take some percentage of this problem away. Then you have the rider mindsets. So there's two groups of people out there. There's people who don't know any better, and the enforcement, the warnings, and the guy who's out there now giving warnings may have a small impact on people who are just ignorant and don't know what's going on, and they'll get educated and will probably snap in line. And then there's this other group that has no intent. It's the wild, wild west. They have no intent of following the rules. In fact, I've heard anecdotally that these guys have said to people at the Hilton that the reason they come in here is because there are no rules in here. And then the Pine Tree Bridge closure obviously has exacerbated this problem because it's forced all the traffic. Normally they would peel off and go into the main lake, but not always. I mean,
Sure.
they still come, even when the main lake was open, they were still buzzing down the C-51. Next slide. So this is just a state of the signs. The first one is at the top, the north end, just south of the causeway. It's covered in mold and faded. You can't make out what it says. The next sign, all that's left on it is idle speed. There's not even a symbol or anything. The two on the Keller Bridge on the north and south side say slow speed versus idle speed. The next sign is literally 25 yards south of the bridge and it says idle speed. So which is it? The one sign has a tree growing out of it, by the way. And then down the last one in the corner is, Doug Probst on the corner. He's resorted to just putting his own signs up, which seems like a good idea, but what it does is it undermines the authority of the real signs. Yeah, and his boat got hit a couple months ago, broke his prop and broke the steering on his engine. So somebody, yeah. So, and then this just came up the other day. Next slide, please. So this is just south of the Keller Bridge on the Lake Clark Garden side. And a guy has put up his own sign and a camera. And I don't know if you guys are getting this, but he says he's sending the footage to the Lake Clark Shores Police and the FWC to try and curb this somehow, some level of deterrence. Last slide. So what are some things we could do to make a difference here? Are we going to eliminate this 100%? Probably not in the short term, but there's ways we could start chipping away at this. First thing is the easiest thing, I think, get the proper signage out there. Get full-size signs with the proper language on it that all say idle speed. There's no slow speed. This is all idle speed. My patio is now cracked, my pool deck is cracking, and my seawall is starting to break down because of this. And I could tell you, people are going to start looking for relief on that. And the city is the first place we're coming. So that needs to be addressed because it's just so obvious that could fix a lot of the problems. Waterway patrol is the next thing. We need to have regular police, PBSO. I don't really care who it is. We need some authority out on that water, patrolling in the areas and, and patrolling that section, because that's where all the problems are. Patrolling the main lake doesn't matter because they can go whatever speed they want in the lake. It's that back canal is where they need to be patrolling. And they need to be citing people. This notion that we're writing warnings is insane. You are not going to change any behavior until we start writing tickets and arresting these guys for what they're doing. The next thing we should do, and this is kind of resurrecting kind of loosely what we had with Chris, is to establish some type of citizen watch and reporting program, set up a dedicated phone, go to Walmart and get an Android phone that we can text, give the number out to anyone who wants to participate in. And when your patrol is on the water, when we see something
Right up
going
front
on
here, ladies.
when we see something going on, we can text in real time. That's what was happening with Chris. He was able to go after these guys, chase them all the way to the Hilton if he needed to. And there were, like I said, a number of arrests and tons of tickets given out. It was highly effective. And then finally, I think we need some cameras, whether they're hooked up or not. We need some cameras on the Keller Bridge to at least give the appearance that somebody is watching them. We can use the existing infrastructure that's there for the gate cameras. You guys already have power and data over there. It's just a matter of getting somebody to run some cameras, and you should put them right down on the pillar next to the sign saying they're under surveillance. And that will probably slow a lot of people down as well. Next slide. I think that's it. So that's my presentation. I will make myself available to anybody in the town who needs help with this, wants ideas, I have a background in technology, so I can help you guys. I was on the council. I'm here to help, but something needs to change.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Who's next? Mike, come on up.
Hello, everybody. Mike Wade, 8350 Waterway Drive. As John said, I'm one of the Facebook administrators for the Lake Clark Shores Yacht Club. Right now, we have about 555 members in our club. And so I think we're a pretty big, powerful impact on, what we see is happening on the waterway and how we want to, see some things done. I just want to reiterate what John said. I had a bad incident along with just riding along. You get sprayed by the jet skiers as they come intentionally kind of close to you with their spray. But one time I was taking a bunch of guys up to the Hilton for lunch up there. My wife, her nephew was getting married, and she was over at the wedding shower. So we're going along right by the Keller Bridge, and I saw these guys coming up behind us. They weren't from our town, I can tell you that. And they're like going all back around and trying to come around me and stuff. And I'm like, guys, this is an idle zone. We were just idling along. And they just said a bunch of stuff to us and, got right up in front of us and gunned it and just soaked every one of us. I mean, it was like a water cannon hitting us. And of course, we said some words to them. They got on the other side of the bridge. They started to turn around to come back and do some more, taunting with us and stuff. But luckily, some other boats came around and these guys took off. And, it's just getting out of control. I know that the town can do something about this. They have to before something happens. I work for a forensic engineering firm. I do accident reconstruction, and somebody gets hurt, I can tell you they're coming after the town. And, this is what's going to happen. Someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get killed, whatever, man. Something's going to happen out there. And you got to be careful what you say to these guys because, some of them, the way they look, I don't know if they're packing something themselves, so you got to be really, really careful with these guys. You know, so you want to say something, but it's frustrating because you can't. And plus they got, you know, jet skis that can do 60, 70 mile an hour that do whatever they want to do to you and then take off, and they just think it's fun. It's a total disregard for anybody on the water. So guys, you know, this is our town. You know, we love this town. You know, I've been doing this boat parade for like 25 years and all, and I love this town and try to do everything I can to, you know, have fun on the water. And, you know, even if we get the bridge done, these guys are out there in the lake out there and they're flying all around and everything. And people are out there pulling their kids on tubes and things like that. God forbid one of these jet skis run over them, you know? So I just hope that we can look at this in a good, positive way and try to do something about it. I think that if, I mean, you go back to Chris Fisher, you know, back when he was sitting there, right there by Bob Chahoub's house, he would be sitting right there, catch these guys, and, you know, found a lot of them that, you know, had warrants on them. You never know, stolen jet skis. I think there was an incident just a little while ago, just on the bridge there on 10th Avenue. Someone lost control, totally wiped out their jet ski over on the east side of it, man. And it was laying there for a while. It's all busted apart. I don't know who got hurt or what, but I heard somebody did, you know, so you know, something's going to happen, guys. And I think that we can, you know, get something done and get somebody underwater. And if the town can't do it, and I understand, you know, they got to try to get a guy that's on the water, that's a marine savvy guy. And I understand it's tough to find people like that, but you know, maybe we can get the sheriff's department out here, FWC. You got to get somebody. And so, besides that,
Okay, thank
That's
you.
it.
Thank you, Mike.
Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Gators.
Told you there was one in here. I knew that. Yes, sir. Come on up.
Oh, yeah.
Good evening. My name is Len Riley, and I live at 1550 Mediterranean Road West. And we're right on the corner of the canal that comes from the main lake and then turns and goes both ways. And we get to see this every day. And it has absolutely gotten to be horrible. We talk about the speeds and people getting hurt. That's definitely happening. This last incident took a 4x4 post off of my dock. So I've got that to try to figure out how to get to be repaired. But the other thing that's really terrible, I think, I spent 45 years in heavy civil construction. I've lost 40% of my hearing because of being around loud equipment. These guys come by and I put a decibel meter on my phone and I've clocked them at 125 to 135 decibels. And the nice thing about it is these guys are they don't know it, but they're going to be deaf here pretty soon. And quite frankly, I think they deserve it. But it is so bad that when we're sitting out on the deck of our pool, we have to get up and go inside to get away from the noise. And it rumbles into the house. And then the other day, one of them came by running about 40 or 50 miles an hour and cut it a couple of times and threw water from the canal into my pool. So this is absolutely out of control. And I feel like some of the other guys that have said, eventually it's going to come to the town of Lake Clark Shores. And it's going to be a liability and it's going to be an issue. And I am going to be another one of the ones that don't want to just complain, but say, if you need a place to set up cameras to try to do something with this, I've told the police that they can sit in my driveway and catch anybody that doesn't hit the stop sign. A friend of mine once told me, you don't really consider it a stop until all four wheels stop at the same time. But that's a bad situation close to where I live. But this thing with the jet skis is absolutely out of control. And I just know that because we're at the T intersection and I've seen boats coming through and jet skis coming the other way. I've seen boats coming through in both directions. And one of the boaters is not watching what's going on or not realizing that this is a minimum wake zone or a slow zone. And, you know, all of a sudden you have a very little reaction time and a very little stopping capability in these boats and these jet skis, and somebody's just going to get nailed. And I know we're going to pick somebody up off, peel them off the wall. And I don't know what happened to the two guys that were on the jet skis that took out the post of my dock, but I don't know how they got. Yeah, we've got pictures. Yeah.
That's
So
definitely going to do some damage to their jet ski as well.
let's hope so. I mean, it's absolutely crazy what's going on here, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I've sat out on my dock and my deck and watched Chris work, and the impact that he had was major. And I actually, when they put the pump on my driveway, when we had the sewer spill, I was talking to one of the guys on the utility crew and said, hey, I'll buy the police boat. I don't want to see it sit up there and dry rot. I'd buy it and let me run it. I don't, something's got to be done.
There is a certification and it is being worked on right now. So, but you're preaching to the choir here. We're out on a boat all the time and we have our run-ins as well.
Right.
And I'm not good at keeping my mouth quiet, contrary to popular belief. Okay,
Thank
thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sophia, come on up. Yes. This is your time.
Hi, 1501 Mediterranean Road East. My seawall has been hit by a boat that was drinking beer. It's been reported a sea-doo did hit the bridge by my house, went flying off of it. I reported that on a weekend. When I told him I was calling the police, he had his friend come get it. My seawall's falling apart. I've repaired it twice. They are flying around the corner by Lynn's house through the canal into the lake. A while ago, the no wake zone sign was destroyed by the hurricane. They put it back, but it's almost in my neighbor's yard. You can't even see the sign. So I will attest it's a major problem by my house. So
Okay.
thank you for listening. And
Yes, of course.
please do. I've also offered to hide behind my seawall because it's a perfect spot. Then get everybody going through the canal.
Sure.
So
It's the blind spots that are really concerning because they come flying around the blind spots and here you are
mhm.
and they, that's where there's going to be a tragedy.
And that guy hitting the bridge was lucky he didn't die because his whole
Well,
Sea-Doo
I'm
fell
with
to a
Lynn. That's on
million
them
pieces.
and I can't feel sorry for them.
Well, he flew.
I'll be the first
through
one.
the
I'll be the
canal,
first one to say the jet skis have a right to the waterway.
not
they
going
do.
through the canal
However,
fast.
There's boaters etiquette, there's rules to the waterways, and they should have to adhere to them like everybody else.
And the water wasn't in perfect condition that day. It was foggy, it was bumpy, and he went flying through that canal.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, Jim, you're not coming up? Okay. Pete, you'll be next.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, my name is Brian Glynn. I live at 1410 Mediterranean Road East. I've been in this community for almost 11 years now. This is my first town council meeting I've been to, and I'm here to echo the same, thank you, same sentiment that the rest of the residents are. This is a big problem. I'm on Mediterranean, so I'm a little further south than John, or right around the corner from all these people. And I've lived here for 11 years. I just got a boat 3 months ago. And so I've had 10 years where I've lived here. I've been seeing everyone flying past my house for 10 years. And my perspective has shifted a little bit now that I'm on the water all the time. I knew this was a problem, being on the waterways. And I've been in the water for, lived in Florida for a long time. And so I've been on the waterways for a long time. I know the laws, I know the etiquette. These people are not following any rules, any etiquette. It's crazy. I'll be getting on my boat with my 2-year-old in my arms, and I'll have people come by 2-3 jet skis in a row on plow with 1.5 2-foot wakes, and they're just looking at me while the boat's rocking back and forth, hitting the seawall while I have a 2-year-old girl in my arms. So it's crazy. I mean, I was sitting outside the pool on Sunday, guys came by, smashed my boat into the wall. I mean, and I have it on, the mooring whips to keep it off, the wall. But it's gotten out of control. And The incident at Lynn's house and that Edelbert and John was talking about, I was heading southbound in the lake when this happened. So I was about to cross under the Mediterranean bridge when they hit Lynn's wall. I had my 5-year-old in the boat with me, and had I been 30 seconds ahead, he was sitting in the front left of the bow. I have a hurricane like you do, Mr. Freebold. I sit in the front left of the bow, and had I been 30 seconds ahead of where I'd been, who knows if we would have that tragedy on our hands. So I think, John did a great job with his presentation. I think he hit on a lot of key points that could be very impactful. The signage, I think, is a big issue. It's not just in the town. I think it's the surrounding areas, because these are guys that are coming in from Blake Osborne and north of the Hilton is what's happening. They're not parking at our ramp. But there's a complete lack of consistency, and you all are very well connected people. And I think this is more of a maybe a consolidated effort across the several municipalities of the county. Because even coming in from the Hilton, there's no signage at the Hilton when you're coming in from that lake anymore right next to it. There's a post there. I don't know if there was a sign there. Again, I've been on the water a handful of times in the last 10 years, but now I'm on the water all the time. There's no signage there, so they're coming in. There's inconsistency, the faded signage. And I think the enforcement is one of the biggest things. And again, I don't know if I know there's limited resources with our town, but this is across, and I don't know how that works from a jurisdiction standpoint with the different waterways, because we have Lake Worth Drainage and Lake Clark Shores and South Florida Water Management, and then it gets into Lake Worth. And this is, I mean, the entire chain of lakes, this is a problem on. It's really bad by our stretch of homes, going down C51. So I think some good options were presented here. I hope that you all can get some stuff done. I'm also willing to put cameras up on my property. I'm happy to do that. So if that's something that I can help with, by all means. But thank you for your attention to this matter. I think it's gotten to a point now that, it's been addressed in the past, but it's getting out of control. And from a safety perspective as well, like, my kids aren't on the water yet, but I don't plan on moving anywhere. And I just think about this with, my son, he's about to turn 6 years old. In another couple of years, he's going to be out on the boat by himself. And these guys, they just, I mean, you see teenagers out there all the time. They fall off the water, and then you get a gang of 5 or 6 of these jet skis. They're not paying attention. They don't know what they're doing. And as John mentioned, there's an education component to this, but there's a complete lack of disrespect with a lot of these people. Some of them are just even for their own safety. I mean, you see guys, they're running around without life jackets on these PWCs, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. Or they're running at night. I mean, I've been out in the water at night and I'm seeing these guys go by. They don't have navigation lights on and they're flying through these waterways. So, if there's anything that obviously I think all of us have been open to helping as much as we can, and we'll hope we see some significant change here in the not too distant future. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Brian.
No, we can, is anybody else left for, you can come up, we can shift gears.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, Mike Bradaway, 1410 Carambola. My stance on jet skis ain't, everybody pretty much knows where I stand on them. That could just soon go away permanently. My wife won't get in the boat anymore. Hardly. We've been doused with water. More since she won't be in the boat with me because she knows what I could possibly do to one of these guys if they get close enough. It's got to stop. I've been hit. Man, it took the report right there where that pontoon was. The guy was on plane, came full speed in a boat. These are kids in a boat. One of the kids was standing up on the polling platform at full tilt when they come around the corner. When he hit me, when the boat hit me, it sideswiped me because I was going into the pontoon as he was coming around the corner. He came off the polling platform and went right into the driver of the boat. I never laughed so hard in my life. But I had to get through the lake to get back around, and I had already called for law enforcement, and they were pitching a fit saying that I was in the wrong. I was like, well, all right, well, let's go to the boat ramp, see who's wrong. And they followed me there to do the report. So there is a report on that. But it's not just the jet skis. It's the boats. It's whoever. And it's funny because it doesn't matter if it's on a weekend. Thursday, I was out there at 4 o'clock and they come flying through there. They smile, they slow down as they go by me, and then they go right back into full tilt. They are brandishing firearms. I've had one shown to me, and it was a couple years ago that Austin was under the bridge fishing, and one of them was pointed right at his face. So I don't know if that's ever happened to anybody,
No.
but your life kind of changes real quick when you look down the barrel of a handgun. It's happened to me twice, one on I-95 and then the one on the water. But that to happen to my son, that was a whole nother story. Yeah, I'm pretty emotional over that part of it as it is. But you can't talk to these people. You can't say anything to them. If you confront them, you throw your arms up, they're gonna come at you with, "You're in my way." It's Mad Max out there. Pretty much all I got to say.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Stephanie DeBose, 7218 Pine Tree Lane. We are new to this community and we are privileged to be a part of it. We are the parents of 4 unbelievable children, grandparents of 6, and I'm sure to be more. Our children are now afraid to come out on our vessel because of the encounters that they've witnessed. And I'm going to speak for the women of the men of the community who are speaking tonight. And our biggest concern as women is we are the wives of the good old boys who come from a different time where they take matters into their own hands. And I think one of our biggest concerns is that nobody takes responsibility for what's going on the waterways. These really good men are going to start to do that. And nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see the consequence of it or anything. And my heart's pounding because I feel this so much. I don't want to see my husband go down because he's defending his family on these beautiful waterways when all we want to do is go out for a stroll and enjoy. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morty Mills, 7531 Pine Tree Lane. I just want to say these residents have so much insight as to what's really going on. Rules of the road require that operators actually take responsibility for their wakes. So any damage that is done to their property is the responsibility of the operator. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. There's boats going by at 4 o'clock in the morning as well. The other night, I think it was like 9 o'clock at night, there was a jet ski that came by with underwater lights on it. Like, I don't know, it was like probably like 8, 9 o'clock. It had to be going at least 60 miles an hour. I mean, it's dark. So, I mean, I do verify everything these guys are saying, and it is a big hazard. I want to offer my services. 15 years licensed Coast Guard captain, 100 ton. I mean, I'm more than capable of running a boat or being an operator for anybody on this council. If you have a boat, my boats are too big for the lake, unfortunately, for now. But if you have a boat, I'll be happy to run it for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to say something about the jet skis before Pete comes up? Okay, come on up, Pete.
I'm Pete Holderly, 6903 Pine Tree Lane. Hello, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, different subject. I was concerned over the fact that we have so much traffic on Pine Tree Lane. We have this double yellow line that the people don't want to cross to go around these, all the cars we have. I'm having a real big problem with the way Pine Tree Lane is disintegrating right now, literally disintegrating. If there's any way we can remove the speed bumps, that would be a help because of the fact that we're always undulating. Now we have more. The only place that you can legally cross the road because it's double yellow is at the speed bumps. I don't understand why they didn't make the double yellow line on the speed bumps. So I'm always behind somebody that's trying to navigate the double yellow line and not hit the people. And it's really such a hazard to have that. If we can please remove the speed bumps, and when we do put the new road in, don't have double yellow lines, just have it so it's a traffic flow. These people are having a real hard time with double yellow lines and crossing them. I know that's probably boring to some people, but anyhow, they took out.
Safety is safety, Pete, whether you're on the street or you're on the water. Safety is safety, correct?
Okay, so now we have double yellow lines that are very unsafe. because people don't want to cross them to get around the people that are walking on the road. So you're right. It is very unsafe. Okay. Now we have another problem with they took out at the bridge yesterday a chunk of concrete as big as a VW microbus. They can't put the pilings in the ground. They keep on hitting them because they got all that crap. Did anybody have the foresight to see or to check if there was the old bridge when they dumped it back into the, into the canal, whether that was even thought about? I mean,
It was buried.
yeah, I know it was. It was buried. I mean, buried.
Yeah.
They took out that big ass backhoe and they just digging and digging and making a bunch of noise. And then the steam thing blew up, and then one of the hydraulic lines blew all over the place. We're having fun.
You're gonna get some beautiful lights on the bridge tonight. They're gonna bring that to
You're
you.
gonna have the beautiful lights, yes.
It's
Like,
coming. It'll be done ahead of schedule,
Like
which
a-
is my prognosis, so I'm
It's gonna
sticking
look
with
like
it.
Apocalypse Now with the lights, right? Over that bridge. Remember that show?
Well, I don't know.
That
Those
movie?
still have to say down there.
You know. Okay. I ended up this pressure cleaning the fecal matter off of my seawall. I didn't try to charge anybody, but every time we have a sewer spill that isn't our fault, we are the recipients of that. And the last thing I want is to go through, the Florida Mango Bridge took 3 years to build. I'm thinking to myself, what else is going to happen? Oh, we're going to dig up the roads again to put sewers in. With construction, I want serenity. And I don't think I'm getting it with this bridge and with the idea that I've got sewers to worry about and they're going to dig up the road. I went through it back in 75 at the house in Babel in Long Island. It was a horrible 5 years. The cars were covered in dirt. The houses were covered in dirt. Your suspension, like it's getting totaled now, going down Pine Tree Lane. I feel sorry for the people on Venetian Way. They got to drive. It takes 20 minutes. If you're behind some person that doesn't want to jump the yellow line, which is illegal, which is a safety issue, and go around. I said 20 minutes for me to get to back to Forest Hill Boulevard. It's incredible. So please when you put in the new road, no yellow lines. Let's not have a safety issue. Okay, about the speed bumps. You go down the south end of Pine Tree Lane and you got 2 speed bumps within 75 yards of each other. That is ridiculous.
That was a former council member, former mayor, long before this council, and I agree with you, and I'm sure the chief of the firefighters would love to see those things go away as well.
Well, let's at least do something.
Well,
we
there's
can't fix the
differing
roads
opinions
here.
on that one
The
there.
roads
Pete.
are falling apart on Pine Tree Lane.
Well,
They're being quadruple the amount of traffic, disintegrating roads. What do we, just no foresight. Okay.
no, that's not true. That's in the budget process right now for Pine Tree.
I know, and I thank Bridget for letting me know all that. And that was nice, you taking the time to listen to me.
It's
Thank
only
you.
$360,000 from Forest Hill to Mediterranean for Pine Tree only.
It's so ridiculous.
I know.
The cost of materials now. I don't know how people on incomes.
Well, John, you've been sitting up here, so you know the funny part about that comment is we don't get any of that really. On the streets, what do we get, chief? $12?
Well, it goes to the county.
Yeah. So we don't get any of those dollars, which we should. Well, hey, now, John, you've been up here. When we write too many tickets, they complain there's too many tickets. When we don't write enough tickets, there's not enough tickets. Well, guess what? They're the ones the police officers find doing the speeding. Isn't that right, chief? I get those reports. I read those reports.
They should give out tickets for going too slow. I mean, 18
Well, they would be ticketing me then, huh?
miles an
Huh,
hour.
ladies?
I see that speeding thing. Your speed limit is, and I'm saying this lady, I'm sorry, girls, but going 18 miles an hour in a 25, it's going to hit the bend. We're going to even go slower now. And I can't handle the stress of going 18 miles an hour. I can't. Not when it takes me 20 minutes to get to, Forest Hill Boulevard. By the time, my blood pressure medicine, I gotta take it with me. I mean, just to, crush it up, put it up my nose or something and good to go,
All right, who do we have next? Come on up. Come on up. Everybody's riled up. I like it. I like it.
Teresa Lemmy, 7100 Venetian Way. I will agree with everyone about the jet skis. I see them on the weekends, very bad, very bad. And I would be happy to be one of the people that gets on the phone and tells when we do have Marine Patrol that they're coming around and they're doing what they're doing, because it's bad. And it is at night. It's really
Oh,
bad
yeah.
at night. It's really bad. All right, so I definitely concur with everybody about the waterways. My issue is the vacation rental ordinance. So I had this issue come up on my street with someone doing vacation rental that was not in compliance with the ordinance. And they went before the code enforcement issued them a violation. They said that they wanted to come into compliance. They were given a time period to come into compliance. They did not come into compliance and decided that they were not going to do it anymore. They were not going to do vacation rental anymore. That's what they told the code enforcement officer. And they continued to do it. My question is, why do we have an ordinance that we are not enforcing? I have taken pictures of the vehicles. I have their tag numbers. We have law enforcement. The code enforcement board, according to what I read in our ordinances, has subpoena authority, has authority to do investigation, can have witnesses. So why aren't they taking the next step? When I asked our code enforcement officer, Eric Richwagon, why we weren't doing anything further, he said there was nothing more that they could do. So I don't want to give the recipe to the secret sauce, but for anybody who watches this video or listen to me here tonight that decides that they want to do an Airbnb, guess what? The way around it is just say it's your family and your relatives that are living there, because the town's not going to take the next step, apparently.
Oh, that's one of the issues. We have a code board guy right behind you.
Yeah.
So he can help. They, unfortunately, after they have been cited, they do have time to comply.
No.
And what they do in between that compliance is the problem.
No, it wasn't in the time period.
No, I
When the-
understand.
when the
I know
deadline
what
passed,
I know where
yeah.
you're talking
Okay,
about. and
So
what
when the
you're talking
deadline
about.
passed, the violation continued, and I brought it to Eric's attention, and he said there was nothing more that he could do because he was told by them that they are not doing it anymore, and it's only family member and friends that are staying there. It's not family member and friends.
Well, then what I would suggest is that you then get some documentation. You can call in, you can file a formal complaint. I don't even like the word complaint, but that's what it is. It's a formal complaint. You can no longer be anonymous.
No, I've never been
And then-
anonymous.
No, I understand, but I'm just for the general audience. That's how you do that. Even taking on the jet skiers is bad business. Because I agree with you, taking on somebody who's doing something wrong is
100%.
probably not the way to go. Because who's going to get hurt? It's going to be one of us. You, Mike, I've seen what happened to the guy who rides next to you now. Since your wife won't ride with you, look at him. What'd you do to him? So I understand what you're saying.
But I don't see that it, unless the code enforcement board or code enforcement officer is
been up
going
in
to
front
take
of
the
code?
next step.
No, he cured the problem before. Just
But it's still going on.
Of course it is.
he doesn't advertise, so it's hard to prove. We're working.
They're working on it.
I mean, listen, I have a private investigator that works at my office because I'm an attorney. I could have him run the tags. I could call the people and say, how was your visit to Lake Clark Shores?
You can't run the tag.
And I'm sure that they're going to say it was great.
We have to do it legally and
No,
we're
understood,
trying.
but you understand my frustration.
Yeah, we're
Chief,
trying.
do we still have
We're
tag
trying.
readers on our vehicles? Remember we went through that and did that? Do we still have a vehicle that has a tag reader?
No, if we get tech,
Teresa.
LPR, we have LPR tag readers.
No, I know, but we did have one on, we had them on the vehicle at one point too. We no longer have that?
Yeah, we don't have that.
We don't have it? Okay.
That's
All right. Just making sure. That's old technology. John, I don't know.
You've been
I'm a
out of it.
dinosaur.
You've been out of it.
I'm a dinosaur.
All right, well, I appreciate you listening. And like I said, it just seems like, why would we have the ordinance?
Reach out to Joe. He just gave you his card.
Yep.
Reach out to him. He'll work with you. He'll help you on it.
We are working on that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
I
being
appreciate
worked
it.
on.
Thanks, Teresa.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia.
Anybody else out there? Come on up, Pete. You can ask a question.
Yeah, we got a problem on Venetian Way. There's a household of I don't know what they are there.
It's been cited too.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
You know, I was the one that found the fact that they had the AC and they were digging the trench for the septic, into the sewer system and everything, a shed.
Yeah.
But they got 15 jet skis. They got multiple cars. He keeps them there. He runs a car business, out of his house, and the lawn isn't kept up. It's decayed. It just takes the town, that beautiful Venetian Way, and just ruins it, because it's one of the first houses you see as you enter Venetian Way, and it is despicable.
It's
If
in
we
the-
only
it's-
knew a
that's
good
in the
lawn man.
works, too.
It's cited.
Pete, you know a good lawn man? You know a good lawn man?
Joe, hasn't it been cited
Yes.
multiple times?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cited.
And even FWC has got it on the water side.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay, who's next? Everybody's good? Sure? Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the oath of office.
Greg?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, we have
I'm sorry.
somebody that emailed a comment.
Okay,
So there's, it's James Bingham and Jonna Bingham from 1931 Kirandis Drive. They say, good morning. We would like to register our support for John Maples as mayor and will attend the meeting virtually. That's it.
okay. We're getting to that.
Thank you.
First, we got to do the oath of office. Who else do we have?
That's it.
Nothing
That's the
against
only-
John, but they said something about the moms. I'd like to see a lady up here too, one of the girls. All right, anything else? Nope,
No.
that's it? Okay, all right. Charlie? I am passing the gavel to you, sir.
Well, he's gonna do the. Oh,
Well, you do the oath of office, then it's
You-
yours.
you-
And then we'll go from, we can put it over here. That was ceremonial.
And before we begin, I'm not sure if you want to do this individually or you want to do it collectively.
Collectively.
Collectively. Okay, then I'll ask
Get it on.
the four of you who are to be sworn in to please stand and
Taking pictures?
raise your right hand. And
What's a good angle?
as we begin, I'll ask you each
Really good
to
hand.
state your name. I,
Gregory Freebold,
John Maples.
I, Taylor Materio,
Hi, Christine Osmark.
a citizen of the state of Florida
a citizen of the
citizen
state of
of
Florida,
Florida,
and of the United States of America,
and of the United States of America,
and being an officer of the town of Lake Clark Shores,
and being an officer of the town of Lake Clark Shores,
and a recipient of public funds as such officer,
and a recipient of public funds as such officer,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
all of the duties of the office of council member
all of the duties of the office of council member
of the town of Lake Clark Shores, Florida,
of the town of Lake Clark Shores, Florida,
on which I am now about to enter, so help me God.
on which I am now about to enter, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That group swearing in.
Okay, now you can.
The next order of business is the reorganization of the town council. There are 3 positions, mayor, vice mayor, and president pro tem. The remaining 2 council members are titled council member, although all 5 are council members, 3 will have a specific title. Nominations do not require a second, and I will open the floor for nominations for mayor of the town of Lake Clark Shores.
I would like to nominate John Maples.
Are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Bridget Keating.
And I would like to nominate myself.
So there are 2 nominations, Bridget Keating and John Maples. All those in favor of John Maples to be the mayor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
All those in favor of Bridget Keating to be the mayor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
I
Nay.
oppose.
So Bridget Keating is the mayor on a 3-2 vote.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mayor Keating.
Then the next position is vice mayor. I'll open the floor for nominations for vice mayor.
I'd like to nominate Christy Mossbach as vice mayor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? All those in favor of Christy Mossbach being the vice mayor signify by saying aye.
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 And now for the last position, nominations for president pro tem.
I'll nominate Taylor Materio.
Are there any other nominations? All those in favor of Taylor Materio being president pro tem signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Girl power.
Congratulations.
Girl power. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Oh, yes, you may.
My daughter, the oldest one, puts up with me
Mayor,
the most.
congratulations. Do you want to do
Yes.
a little shifting of the chairs? or you
We'll
want-
send her the thing and
you
we'll
want-
shift all that later. I got all my stuff spread out here.
When is the
Ooh,
last time
she
we
gets
had
a
a
whipping.
female mayor of the town of Lake Clark Shores?
Michelle Daniels,
More than 10 years?
and she wanted sewers and they got rid of her. That's a true story.
Oh my.
But we're not in that boat anymore, so. All right.
So you're still, aren't you still the mayor till the end of this meeting?
No,
No, you
You
are.
are
the
now the mayor.
We just reorganized our titles.
You get that big pay raise.
Oh, okay.
You need these?
No, I just need guidance of what's the next on the.
We're on
On the agenda.
item 5,
Approval of agenda.
What's that?
The approval of the agenda.
I make a motion that we consider a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second.
Agenda approved.
Got to ask for a vote.
Do we have a vote?
All in favor? Yep.
Aye.
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 Vice.
Motion approved.
I have a lot of vices.
Because there a motion for consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda approved.
You can't do that.
She waited a long time. You're next.
Presentation?
It takes a minute.
Palm Beach County of Ethics,
Rhonda.
Rhonda Geiger, correct?
Geiger, thank you. Hello, everyone. Rhonda Geiger with the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics, just here for my annual check-in to drop off the trinkets that have negative value. Don't worry. Nobody needs to claim them. And to, as always, just remind everybody, it sounds like you have bigger problems maybe than ethics, but you know, with the jet skiers, but we are here. If anybody has any questions with respect to things you can or can't do, gifts you can or can't accept, conflict votes, anything like that. We're also here for training. If you, anybody wants to schedule a live training, it is our 15-year anniversary this year, so we've now officially been around representing Palm Beach County, every town,
every municipality as well as all the county employees and elected officials, so that they're all under our jurisdiction at this point. 15 years in, we're still going strong. Shifting a little bit to offering advice more than investigating complaints, which is really what we like to see. We've really taken a proactive approach as opposed to like a gotcha approach. I guess I shouldn't say gotcha approach, but we're doing it more. People are coming to us more ahead of time as opposed to us looking at things after the fact. And that is really a role that we're embracing. Community outreach has become a big thing. We want everybody to know that we exist. It's amazing still that many of the citizens of the county don't know that we're here. So I've handed out books to everybody. We're on the website, the county website, if anybody has any questions about it. The code of ethics is there. I've handed out just a couple as part of our anniversary. We reprinted the ethics guides, but they went fast. So once we get another batch of reprints, I'll drop off enough for everybody. But yeah.
Do they have changes in them?
A couple, very minimal changes. Nothing super significant, but it will be at least the accurate reflection of the law as it currently stands.
Are they going to reprint any more? Or is that-
Yeah, they printed the first batch of like 2,000 and they went quick. So I hoped to have enough for tonight. And I was down to 3. I was in Palm Beach Palm Beach today, and they got 400. So they pretty much ran us dry. So, but I will bring them.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Rhonda, do we know of the ratio of large municipalities versus the small municipalities who land on your radar? It seems to me like a lot of the smaller municipalities, this should be a no-brainer, but you never know.
Some of it is more just questions. It can be really like, depending on what you mean by radar. So like, as I mentioned, our radar lately is writing advisory opinions, people just having simple questions. I own this business. Can I, do I have to vote on this? Or my spouse has this. Can I still participate? Do I have to recuse myself? Do I have a conflict? So we're seeing it more on the front end, where we can answer these questions proactively as opposed to reactively after a complaint has been filed. So I can't give you any numbers with respect to that. I can tell you our formal complaints are down because we try to be so available to everybody.
That's what enforcement does.
It does.
Gets everybody's attention.
Well,
they'll give what you're willing to take.
And it really, having a law in any capacity, a speed limit, a criminal law, that encourages to a certain extent.
The reason I ask is we're promoting our CRA. The town of Lake Clark Shores over the past probably 60, 70 years, whatever it may be, hasn't really been confronted with this where we're going to be dealing with this, but we're working on promoting our CRA, which is going to bring this place to a whole nother level of making deals, which we typically count on the manager for. However, council itself could be subject to that. So I'm just curious when that time does come and we can reach out to you and we can say, hey, is this we pretty much know what's appropriate.
And you can opt your CRA in as well. So they can formally, we have plenty of CRAs that are under our specific jurisdiction. Obviously, as presumably they're going to know about the code of ethics, but if they're appointed on a board, they'll have to comply. But the CRA itself can opt in to be officially governed by the code.
Well, this board,
exactly.
our CRA board is
You
the
are the
council.
CRA board.
Yeah.
I see. So I see. So you already will be under. Yeah.
So we're already by default.
Right.
Yes.
Lucky you. But yes. So I mean, to answer your question, we're seeing more and more of those kind of things as the littler agencies get more popular. But it is in the form of advisory opinions or answering questions. I mean, we used to laugh and say there are no ethics emergencies, but I was on the phone Saturday night at 6 o'clock. Whether, can I go to this gala with my wife? Can I accept the ticket? I'm a public servant and she isn't. So, little questions come up like that we're happy to help.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
I mean, if you have my
Thank
cell
you.
phone number, that is. Any questions?
Are you in the office downtown?
We're in the historic courthouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
I work for the Historical
Oh,
Society.
you do? Oh.
So I'm there. I've just never seen you come in. I know there's the two sides. But...
I'm a stair taker, so
Yeah.
I try to avoid the elevators. I don't like them.
Well, I'll look for you.
Yes, do, please do. Yes, fourth floor, or come say hi.
That's me, fourth floor.
And also live training if you guys are interested. So, you know, when I say we'll come out, it's like the royal we, because it's me, but I'm happy to do live trainings if anybody's interested. Any other
you.
questions?
Nope.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Looks like no quasi judicial proceedings, no public hearing, unfinished business. This discussion regarding ordinance for parking vehicles on the grass.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I start, this form's a little confusing. Can you sign it both on the both lines?
Yes.
Whoever was sworn in. Thank you. I believe I have to say Vice Mayor Mouse. Well, she started this discussion on parking on the grass and inquired about it to staff in February, then took it to the council and asked last month if we can have a draft ordinance, and that's what the town attorney and staff put together in front of you. It's a very simple ordinance, and Mr. Oshkosh brought up one of the examples of if there's a social event or an event, that's one of the permitted uses. But basically what it says is you can't park on the grass in the front lawn unless it's prohibited, unless of these two exceptions, which is one, there's a social event, and secondly, if there's disrepair to your driveway or your driveway's in repair. So it's very simple. It's that little paragraph on the ordinance. So if anybody has any questions, I'll take them now, or we will proceed to the first reading, because this is just a discussion, in April, and then we'll have the second reading in May. So there still can be changes in the next month, but we just wanted to give you a draft. Charlie, do you have anything?
No, I just wanted to reiterate that the two issues that Mr. Kulkarni addressed are in the ordinance, and we have taken care of those two issues so that will not be a violation.
And that's the majority of the
Majority of it.
feedback that we've heard, is to take those types of situations into consideration.
Yes. So if there's no discussion, we'll just proceed till next month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next unfinished business is selection of light fixture for Pine Tree Bridge light. Pine Tree Lane Bridge.
Mayor, this was discussed again last month, and it was approved. The funding was approved for the 4 lights. We're going to have 4 lights on our new bridge, 2 on each north and south. So now thank you. Emily's going to go over the drawings. This is option 1, which is that Shepherd's Crook light, which is the downward lighting. I actually did get some input from Cutler and Herring, which you asked me to do. And she said this is her preference, is to pick this fixture, not only for aesthetics. She believes it is aesthetically pleasing, and she will complement this light for the park when she selects, but also for safety, for pedestrian safety. So I did get her input. The second option is what we have on some of our other bridges, which is an acorn light. We can work with this too, because you can actually shield some of the lenses, so there'll be less, or trying to mitigate some of the light pollution. But obviously the first choice is a little bit better for light pollution, in our opinion. So that's just opening up the discussion for you all to give us guidance.
Emily, were you able to pull up the photos that I sent you today?
No, sorry.
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
I like the Shepherd's Crook mount. That is the same light that they have going on the Royal Palm Bridge into Palm Beach. Lake Clark Shores was founded by a Palm Beacher who tried to make this a pineapple plantation. Couldn't do it. Everything was dying of blight. Just killed it. This was his fishing grounds, John Clark. And those are the lights over there. May be appropriate to, use that one. That's the one I would think.
So after the last meeting, I had the opportunity to speak to a few residents. And I'm glad you mentioned the question about safety as well. And as much as I love the acorn lighting, because it just pleases me aesthetically, and I especially liked when they're decorated for Christmas, I just feel like the feedback from the residents has been overwhelmingly that they want those down lighting due to how it affects them personally shining into their homes and having light shining in their eyes as they're coming around a corner. All situations we heard discussed here publicly.
I actually went to Claudine's house last night, and I would agree with her that the bulbous lights in the park do intrude on her yard, but the bridge does not because of all the vegetation. But I found a couple of different options just for ideas, and unfortunately Emily
It's right there. It's on the TV. I was
She
able
didn't bring it up.
to pull it up. It's just, it's not.
Oh, okay. So that was just a three version of Acorn, just to give it a little more presence, a little more ta-da, we're here in Lake Clark Shores. Can you pull up the other one?
Mm-hmm.
This one I thought was really kind of cool, just a big glowing ball that like she can't turn, it's easier to see them.
I'm sure that would be like the actual bridge design would have to be like created for that, right?
No, we just put it on, on the four ends. Are you able to rotate the pictures, Emily, or no?
No.
And there was a third one I think I sent you. Oh yeah, the Pont Alexandra in Paris, if we really want to go fancy.
Well, yeah.
Go big or go home.
Yes, that for the holidays, especially.
Yeah, can you see it with the greenery wrapped around it? That I put in as a joke, by the way, but. And then there were other choices. If you want to go the Shepherd's Crook route, they dress it up a little bit. I didn't send that picture. If you get three of them,
Oh, that's interesting.
if I could just,
Sure, oh yeah, I can see that.
that gives it a little more pizzazz.
Sure.
Yeah, that was great.
What was our budget? 30,000?
Well, 60 total, 30 on the
Yeah,
CRA,
but
yes.
30 per.
30 for two, so 60 total, 60 total, yes.
So what do you need from us to?
There's no rush. So, we're thinking we're going to put this, install them after the bridge is installed. But obviously we can order them now if you guys give us guidance, if you like one or the other. So I just need a consensus if you want to continue looking, or do you like one of these options?
Do you need a motion or? do you
I'll
need-
make a motion that we accept the Shepherd's Crook mount as a light for the bridge.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
I would like to make oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you can't second. You're
I said,
mayor.
Did somebody want to second? I didn't second it. I said, did somebody want to second it? Do we have a second?
I would second that.
I would like to also make a motion that we
Well, now
Well,
what
yeah,
you
we
can
have to
do
do a
is
little more,
call
do a
for
little
discussion.
more work
Yeah, let's-
on this.
Did you hear
Pardon?
we-
Discussion on
Yes.
on the motion?
on this motion currently?
So as part of your discussion, you want to wait and.
Or
see
you're
what-
I wanna
looking
come
for
up with-
more work on this style? Can we say that we're going to go with the down lighting since you had one of them that was an option?
Well, does anybody here favor the Acorn lights like the other three bridges have?
I think it was you and me.
No,
and
I'd like to see us change them all, but that's my opinion.
Okay, so I would,
Financially, we can't do that right now. So.
yeah. So nobody's in favor of the uniformity with the other bridges? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, so then I would recommend that we dress it up a little bit, come up with some little, like a 3-1 or something like that.
When you say uniformity of the other bridges, are you saying?
Because they have
the
acorn. They have
Yeah, the
acorn.
acorns are, we have 3 other bridges with acorns on them.
Right. Because I think the intent is eventually to have the town with whatever lighting that we decide. Not at this time, but right now we're just deciding on the bridge.
I would be okay at looking at like one last option, like other options for downlighting, if there are other options that fit into our budgetary constraints, both.
We had some other downlighting on the last,
Yeah, I don't remember what they were. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Are they in our packet?
yeah, no, Emily's could bring them up.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
they're
so
pretty.
there's a motion on the table that was seconded, so let's bring that to a vote, and then if it's voted down, we can move on.
Thank you, Emily.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Nay.
Nay.
Motion passes 3-2.
Okay.
You all don't want to consider like a 3-1, like I showed you in the picture here, the downlighting?
I think the concern is the
Can we suggest-
Like this one?
side of it.
I like that one.
I think
mean,
it's more,
without-
it's got more substance to it.
Right. without knowing the budget, I think it'd be, not knowing how much it costs, I think it would be hard to turn that down. I think it's a good option to look at,
So
at least get the cost.
I'm sorry, I can't put it up on the screen, but I could walk. Joe, I mean, we're giving you the direction for the downlighting. We can look at options. It doesn't have to be the specific one. It could be,
It has a little more substance, a little more elegance to it than.
I can bring it. Like I said, we're not in a rush. You
no,
want me?
we passed the motion for the downlighting.
Right. You want me to bring you some more options on downlighting?
Yes.
Okay.
I think if there's anything that falls into a different aesthetic quality or design, not just like the same, I guess those are very different. One's far more contemporary, but
I'm thinking one versus the 3 lights, the 3
yeah,
fixtures.
let's look at the 3.
You see if that's an option. Okay. All right. And the other thing is, I wrote in the memo that we were recommending staff was some green color, Verde green, and that Nicole didn't like that. She says, let's go with a bronze or a black. So that's what she wants to complement. So are you guys okay with going with a bronze or a black?
I think it should match the railing on the bridge.
Well, we're gonna match the railing with.
They are the design experts, so
Exactly.
I'm going to let them lead with
Me too.
that.
So when I heard that,
I could really go
it's
nuts
gospel
color.
for me. So is that okay with every? The railing will match, well, as close as possible.
Yeah.
That sounds
To the
It'll
bronze.
be coordinated.
Coordinate. Is that okay?
That makes sense, yeah.
Thank you. I'll bring this back.
Business garbage and trash removal service selection.
Yes, thank you. Just so everybody knows, our waste management, or now they're called WM, its contract expires on 9/30 of this year. And obviously, you should all know that you don't pay for that out of your monthly utility bill or on your bottom of your non-ad valorem assessments on the bottom, where most residents in the county pay for garbage. All the people that live in unincorporated the county, it's on their assessment. If you live in a municipality, it's usually on your water bill. But this town, a long time ago, I believe, Greg, that was decided that the town will pay for that out of ad valorem money. So your millage rate would actually go down almost a whole mill if we paid for that the way other cities did, which is pass it on as a fee.
Residents paid for it.
Right, it's pass it on as a fee. Thank you. So just wanted to point that out. But I like to give all options when you're making a policy decision. So there's 4 options you guys should consider. One is we can look at contracting with another municipality if they can handle our garbage collection. Lake Worth Beach, I believe, does their own. We can create our own department. I would not recommend that because economies of scale were just a little too small to buy equipment, trucks and store trucks and have land to clean trucks and all kinds of maintenance of those trucks. The other 2 viable options are go out for an RFP, which is go out for the bidding process, or since I'm bringing this to you so early, you can ask me to negotiate a contract with WM, and I can tell you if it's going in the right direction, a favorable outcome, and you can, or if it's not, then we can go out for an RFP. So that's your 4 options for you guys to consider.
I'll make a motion that we give Joe the authority to negotiate a contract with WM and bring it back to council.
Second.
I second.
Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Status reports?
Who's first? She's probably going to pick the firefighters. Oh, look at that.
You have to
There's a
guess.
whole new arrangement. How you doing, Chief? Good. Good to see you. Thank you.
Congratulations to everybody. I have to, Mayor Keating, congratulations.
Thank you.
I go to 5 of these meetings every month. You guys are definitely the funnest ones to come to. It's just always entertaining. I'm always laughing. And I mean, they make it fun. Again, congratulations to you all, Vice Mayor, Pro Tem, Mayor. I wanted to touch back on some questions I was asked last meeting. Councilmember Freebold, it was on the PFAS within our foam.
I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Within our
Taking
firefighting
notes.
foam.
I have a question for you when you're finished. Thank you.
Perfect. We currently have PFAS-free, fluoride-free, unfluoridated foams everywhere throughout the department except in the airport. They're currently working on that switch. So as far as cancer preventing, we've already handled that since March of last year of 2024.
Nice.
I know you had that question.
I was hoping to possibly reach out to you in the coming days. I will be doing a presentation to the executive board of Palm Beach County League of Cities. So I was hoping if you wouldn't mind, I could give you a call and we could just talk for 10 minutes or so.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Councilmember John Maples. I have it written. Last meeting, you asked me to touch with Mary and the senior club. They do have an appointment for next week, next Wednesday, at 11 o'clock. We have our community risk reduction team coming to give a fire safety presentation to your senior club.
Great, Chief. Thank you.
So that was outstanding.
Thank you.
Third thing on my agenda was to congratulate Town Manager Mr. LaBella's son graduating from our recruit academy. It's very intense, very laborious. Heard nothing but good things from my staff about your son. So I welcome him to the Palm Beach County Fire Rescue family.
Thank you.
And then Ms. Keating, I saw you this past week at a beautiful event. Your previous department did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Outstanding human being we were celebrating. And it was an honor to be there. And I think it was well represented.
Yes, it was. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
It was definitely well represented. Now to the nitty gritty. Response times, 6 minutes, 53 seconds. The bridge hasn't really affected us, plus or minus less than 3 seconds. Our turnout times are still 42 seconds, which is half of what they're responsible for. Again, like I've mentioned before, they got a minute and a half during the day, 2 minutes at night. They're making it in 42 seconds. Our travel time, again, we can't control it. Traffic, bridge closures, presidents in town, Southern's closed. There's a lot of things we can't control, but what we can't control, our crews are doing great. We ran a total of 32 calls in the town of Lake Clark Shores, 25 of them being medical, 2 alarms, 2 investigations, 1 fire, 1 MIH call, and 1 vehicle accident. At this time, do you all have any questions for me? No?
Thank you for your
Thank you.
service.
Absolutely.
Thank
How do
Thank
you
you for
feel
having
about
us.
the speed bumps?
Huh?
Serious, I'm being serious. No, but I'm being serious.
Well,
They're a point of contention here because there are those that want them, and the 2 that they were referring to on Pine Tree are problematic.
Yeah.
They're very close together, and I'm thinking more for rescue. They don't really bother me that much. I drive slow. I tell everybody this is my taxi area through here. I can look at what everybody's doing to the houses and pass along ideas and suggestions.
So
to
most
the
of our engines
CEO.
carry about 1,000 gallons of water. That's a lot of weight. So whenever we come up to those speed bumps, we do slow down. It also impacts when we're transporting a patient. It might not feel like a big deal, but back there where we're trying to start an IV or the patient themselves, they're gonna whatever it may be. We're happy with whatever you all decide. Thank you for having us here. And that's way above my. That's a great. Thank you all for having us, and
thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
congratulations on the new positions. That caught me off guard, but congratulations.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
I'll be happy to. My report is included in your packet. I will be happy to answer any questions you have regarding the report.
May I? Talk to us about 7011 Haddon Road. Are we in business there, or
we
still in limbo, or?
We are negotiating with the property owner. We have told them that we would consider bringing to the council a settlement on the liens that are of record, which we cannot enforce because of the homestead order at the current time, of $100,000. They countered with 50,000, and we are still negotiating that those figures.
So quickly, once you brought up the homestead issue, if those outstanding code violations are not brought into compliance, can we then start the process again?
We most definitely can start the process again, and I have relayed that information to the property owner that we will start the process again. When we last discussed this a week and a half ago, I told them that the property had to be brought into compliance and that it's the town's position that the best thing from a cost standpoint would be to demolish the building that's on the property. They received, I believe, an estimate to remove whatever is in the rear yard at $30,000. And I don't know what's in the rear yard, but we are working with them. Let me just real briefly tell you that the issue is homestead property in Florida. Florida's homestead law is peculiar to most states, and it protects the property owner heavily. When Mr. Barbie was alive, the property was his homestead. When it transferred to his descendants, it transferred as homestead property. We were asked by the purchaser to remove the liens because we couldn't enforce them because of the homestead order, and we said no. The liens are still valid liens. They still exist. We just can't take you to court to foreclose on those liens at this point. And because the liens are still of record and they would like to have them removed from the record as being satisfied, that's the reason we're in the negotiation for a settlement amount.
Thank you, Mayor.
Um,
All I have.
Have you given them a deadline by which they must respond?
We have not, but I certainly can. I have told them indirectly, yes. I was hoping we would have an answer for today's meeting, and I was pushing for an answer for today's meeting, but that did not happen. So the deadline will be prior to closing the agenda for the next council meeting.
Yes, and I think if they haven't met that deadline, that the new fines ought to start.
And I have been in conversation with our code enforcement officer. We were hoping to get a settlement and then proceed, but we are ready to move forward with the citations for the current violations.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you. Chief Smith?
Thank you. Last month, the police department was dispatched on 93 calls. Sampling of the calls, drug cases, domestic violence, domestic disturbance, child abuse, stalking. House watches, we did 93. Traffic enforcement, the department did 186 traffic stops, and it's broken down on the citations, moving violations, and the warnings. The flock camera system checked and processed approximately 80,000 tags coming into the camera system in the town. 3 people were arrested last month, the narcotics, battery with bodily harm, property damage, and possession of marijuana, resisting an officer, kind of give you an idea. Code enforcement was busy. He issued 39 code violations. He did 42 re-inspections, golf cart re-inspections 3, false alarm notifications 5, and 15 cases have been turned over to the code board. The rest of the information is attached for you to read. We're still working with the Secret Service on placing equipment throughout the area. Some of that equipment will be in our jurisdiction, and everything is going well. The response times are still about 3 minutes on emergencies, which is excellent, and non-emergencies are around about 10 minutes. So that kind of gives you an idea. Any questions?
Yes. Can I start?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for all your work to keep us safe, you and your team here in Lake Clark Shores. I was pretty horrified by a lot of what I heard earlier from our residents about what's happening on the water. How can you guys jump into action there? I know that we're still getting the special accreditation, right, for one of the officers on the boat, but the boat is out. What else can we do? Because I do agree this is very serious.
Well, I'll be more than happy to get with him and work with him and work with the people. The assistant chief, myself, and Dana will do that. The boat right now is being serviced, so that may take a week, could take 2 weeks. And getting a tune-up, which we may need to tune up to chase the jet skis, but we need to send the officers to training on tactical maneuvers when you're stopping another boat. So they need to be certified. So we're working on that. We do have a class that may be coming up. The assistant chief made contact, and looks like hopefully we put out an email to the officers, see if anybody was interested in going to the class. It's about a 4-day class. So we're working on that. We also, I think, Dave, you talked to him about assistance. Maybe they can assist us, the sheriff's department.
Yeah, I think that the town should certainly consider asking FWC and the sheriff's office for some
Thank you, Charlie.
assistance in
Yes.
this matter. I think it would be very
I couldn't
beneficial.
agree with that more. if that's a
Especially
possibility.
since it includes the part of the water body that's outside of the town going to the Hilton.
Mhm.
You know,
So earlier,
on the main lake, I saw a sheriff's boat in the last couple of weeks, and I saw a boat that said volunteer on the side.
That was Lake Osborne.
correct. So
The volunteers from Lake Osborne?
Sheriff's volunteer boats, they're civilian based.
They'd have authority to
So-
write tickets?
How can we go about engaging the sheriff's office and FWC for our support?
Ask real nice.
We can contact them and ask them, but there's limited resources. And
There are.
we've inquired about the jet skis, and I'll let the assistant chief, because he talked to him, so.
So earlier this morning, I did have an opportunity to reach out to a colleague at the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. He's the lieutenant in charge of the Marine unit. He's actually a friend of mine. We both worked in the North End together. He's out of town. He's in Texas right now at a school for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. When he gets back, he's going to be able to provide us a seat in the next training class that they are offering for their deputies. It is the 4-day course, as the chief had mentioned, but we do at least have a seat in it. We put out a request to all the officers, see if anybody is interested in attending. We've had verbal commitments, but we need a formal commitment so we can obviously adjust schedules and whatnot for them to attend. The vessel did just go out this morning for some steering cabling issues. I'm optimistic it'll be back in short order. So we are dealing with our partners. I don't believe FWC does lakes, but I do have a contact that I used to deal with derelict vessels in the North End and whatnot. I can certainly reach out to them, but I think our contact with the Sheriff's Office is going to be the quickest path to something like that.
So, go ahead.
Do you currently have one that's certified now and we're looking to get one more seat? Is that-
We have nobody certified
Nobody.
to operate the vessel. We do have an officer who has a boat himself, and he's at least comfortable on the water. So we put him out there as a deterrent. He has expressed an interest. So again, we need to go through the formal process of getting him volunteered and sent to the course accordingly.
So it would be like crazy to think that they might come and actually put someone out on the water in the meantime while we're waiting however long for this timeline for someone to get certified. Like, that's not an ask that we could make.
So while we were having our discussions during the public comment, I was texting the lieutenant right now at the sheriff's office, again, out in Texas. We're going to work on seeing what they can provide us in the short term.
And if there's any support that we as council members can provide you guys, letters, I don't know if there's anything that we can do to assist with that, I would be happy to do that. And then my next question, sorry, the signage aspect of it, because the actual policing of the waters, is the signage us, is the signage you guys? Like, how can we get the signage updated? I feel like that's something we can do fairly quickly. Yeah, thank you, Joe.
We actually just recently went through a signage audit with, those are not our signs, the ones that are faded and everything else. They're resident signs, we believe.
But we can put new signs
We
up.
just did.
Cool.
We went through, all our signs have the ordinance numbers on the bottom. They have to be a specific size. We just passed the audit, and we just finished and completed the audit. So our signs are proper. Those are other signs probably from residents putting up
Is there a
signs.
clear delineation of idle speed and slow speed?
Ours are all uniformed. It's these other signs Don't you think, Chief, that they're,
It's going to be, when it's done by them, it's going to be no wake. There's a classification for no wake, which is your bow is down and there's no wake coming off the back of your boat. You're moving through.
Some of that.
Slow speed, I've never,
Some
I
of
don't
that
know.
signage.
It's not slow speed.
It's not slow speed.
Was not the town signage.
Right.
And actually, that main canal, we may not really have authority to enforce the state statute on the main canal.
Well, you're stealing a lot of my thunder. I was going to save this for,
I was worried about that.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
I was going to save this for my council comments, but if I may, I have
You
a
may.
couple of things regarding that because my phone has been ringing off the hook. We passed Mike, Nancy and I are on our boat very frequently. And we've been known to say it's a beautiful night at 9 o'clock at night and say, let's go for a ride. The moon is out, whatever the case may be. Just for the record, I don't even believe, because we had an opportunity to speak to the young man that's interested. I've been telling Joe, and this is a budgetary item for everybody, just even in town of Lake Clark Shores. Chief, as you know, that we've gone over these budgets. It's not a matter of necessarily getting somebody interested. It's also a budgetary because we've tried to get the boat, have a lift down there right at the boat ramp to where we could get into the boat. I don't even think he's writing warning tickets at the moment. I don't even think he has the authority without any certification to do that. All he can do is be a presence and sit out there and hope that they don't know. Is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, legally, he could write a ticket, but he's.
But not if he's not certified.
Practically, yeah.
Yes.
He's not trained on the boat, and
Right.
there's always a liability issue if somebody is not properly trained and certified.
So my phone's been ringing off the hook. Nancy and I were sitting down at the dock. This was a Sunday afternoon, about 6:30. John called me. John and I have been friends for years and years and years. Mike, I'm friends with everybody here. We work for the town of Lake Clark Shores. We all love this place. I don't want it being me and my wife and our dog or our grandchildren or any of that. However, there are rules even on the water. And that same night, because I want to give kudos to him, John called me and I said, my next phone call is going to be to Joe and we'll talk about this. And I didn't even have an opportunity to call Joe. And we're sitting there after John called me about and sending me all these videos. And there goes a police boat going right by. So I sent him a quick text. I said, John, look out your window. There goes a police boat. That's quick work for you right there. I gave you the credit for that.
Thank you.
It was all coincidental. So it's a huge thing. We will stay on top of it. The council will stay on top of it. There's got to be, rules and regulations even for the police department to do all this, which needs to be investigated by legal.
we will all work together on this. We're taking this serious.
We'll work, the police department will work with the manager on that.
Now, shifting gears.
There's funding issues.
Well, the budget's always been an item, which we know.
You know,
Chris Fisher did an awesome job. John Conacher even did a very good job. I can't remember the last guy. He was interested in it too, but he moved on. And as you know, and we all know, that's going to always be an issue here for the Lake Clark Shores Police Department, regardless if you've given them this or that. So I noticed on your report, you wrote a nice letter to the chief of police in West Palm Beach. Are you at liberty to shed any light on that event? Because I've been getting a lot of calls about that one too.
the golf cart.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That West Palm Beach came in and helped us, and we went ahead and turned it over to them. And we had a suspect within a couple of days, but we weren't allowed to share that information. So that's why people want to know what was going on. The individual was arrested on a charge that had nothing to do with the accident. But what takes a long time is you got DNA. They had to get cell phone records and put his cell phone
Triangulation. Yes,
that type of stuff, and all that stuff. On TV you see it in 30 minutes or an hour, but it takes months and months and months to do that. So right now that's what they're waiting for. If they get the additional information, I think the DNA from the vehicle, we had the vehicle towed. It's in storage. they'll go ahead and present the case and see if it can be filed with the state attorney's office.
Wow.
Okay, I just have one last thing, and I know I'm drawing on, but that was a play on words because the drone is catching these FL numbers on these boats. Is that helpful to law enforcement, or do you actually have to have your eyes on that?
Well, we need to witness the violation.
Okay, that's a matter of public
But,
record. I want it on the
we can use
record.
the FL numbers and try to see who the owners were, maybe make contact or see where they're putting the boats in. A lot of this may be people that are renting jet skis from the Hilton Hotel at the airport.
Sure.
And they're coming through to the chain of lakes.
Yeah.
So.
And this is not peculiar to Lake Clark Shores.
No.
Because 9 months ago, they had a crackdown in Biscayne Bay and they arrested 43 people and impounded several of the jet skis.
Yeah, it's all over the water.
And I do agree that FWC has jurisdiction. They may not have the manpower, but they do have jurisdiction.
Right. That's all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I also have one last
Go
comment
ahead,
on
go
that,
ahead.
on that subject, just because, Joe, you said we're working together. We have a plan, and it sounds like there has been a lot of discussion already about this, I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
If there's any way for us to structure that plan and communicate it to the public so they understand the steps that are being taken, I think that would be really helpful.
Communication, excellent. I have a couple questions
Thank
on
you.
that topic, if I could. Is your plan after you get the folks certified to have 2 8-hour shifts on Saturday and Sunday?
Well, it depends on scheduling. It's more important for us to have people on the road to respond to emergencies and calls. If we have people available, like maybe on their day off, or that want to work like 16-hour days, usually we try to get them to come in on his day off and work, and we pay overtime for that.
Well, then we're not going to solve the problem if we don't have regular
Well,
patrols. If it's just ad hoc, like who
Well-
wants to show up on Saturday, raise your hand.
Well, it takes 5 people to cover a shift, and the problem is they can't have somebody on the boat every day of the week. We try to.
No, I just think Saturdays and
Probably
Sundays would be a good start.
when that. But, if we get complaints, like if a lot of complaints on a Thursday night or certain days, we can work on getting the boat out at that specific time. A lot of the stuff that I heard tonight, I was not aware of, or people did notify the police. Some of the people did notify us on a few of the things, but a lot of this stuff here, the police department was never notified, as far as I know. And I don't know if the damage to the boat, that was, you reported yours, and yeah, he filled out a report. But as far as the complaints, this was the first that I saw of the jet skis going down the canal. We had problems with jet skis, mostly with the noise in the lake. And we did do quite a bit of testing, but everything came under the requirements for to get a citation code. They were
Right.
under.
So what I'm hearing is we really just don't have the manpower to have the boat out on the weekends on a regular, consistent basis.
That's correct.
Well, that's not good.
Back in the day, there was 2 things that were feared in this town: driving through it and being out on the water. So there was never a police boat going up. I've lived here my entire life. I was born here. But Lake Osborne always had a sheriff's boat that would patrol down the canals and would come into this area. That went away due to budgeting. It had a boathouse. It stayed on the water. It was there all the time. Always had a marine unit. But driving through this town, you didn't even want to creep through a stop sign. Boom, ticket. Driving up 5 mile an hour road, boom, ticket. People, oh, you live in Lake Clark Shores? Oh, I'll drive through there. So,
While we're sitting here, I just sent you guys a little text message with the email address of the Marine lieutenant. They're apparently happy to help per a contact of mine at the Sheriff's Department Marine Bureau.
yeah, I did hear that they are going to be on the water this weekend, but they will only be patrolling the south end before it comes in from Lake Osborne and on the airport Hilton side.
All right, I got it. I'll reach out to you.
Chief, in the same way that that you have red light cameras, or that, you know, those little solar operated things to say how fast you're going. Could we install, would that be useful to install on the bridges?
Well, I mean, I'll have to talk with staff and talk with the manager. You're talking about money and if you know anything about government, we're generally under budget, so.
Oh, but I know my chief. He gets forfeiture funds right, left and center.
But there's no way for enforcement, like a red light camera, there's no way to do that. They just passed for buses, but they didn't pass anything else. For school buses.
I mean, it's clear that we've got to get some police presence on the water.
I can write the numbers down, but FL numbers, that actually does not do any good because half the jet skis are stolen and they put whatever number they want to on it until it's recognized or somebody searches the bin and it gets confiscated.
I know
That's the Hilton side. That's the Hilton crew. They're the Mad Max. They're
Do you want a job, Mike?
I get
You want a job?
My next step is putting the camera on the boat.
I'll get him any hat he wants.
And I'll reach out to John. I know him and we'll be more than happy to work with them and involve the manager. We'll be starting budgeting soon. So that may be something about budgeting, like overtime to do a detail on that, but something you can look for down in the future, but I'll be more than happy. We have been working on this. It's really time consuming. We have people that cancel vacations. I mean, I had a couple of vacations I canceled. It's just staffing to keep going. We're small and we do the best we can. In the 24 years I've been here, we've never really had a marine unit. We actually purchased the boat in case if we had an emergency or drowning. And then what we did is we saw the need to try to put people on the boat. We had people that would volunteer and go on the boat many years ago. Now, you have to pay people, time and a half to utilize. And we do have people that are interested in doing that. And we have been utilizing them to do it.
Juno
But
Beach
just-
didn't.
we don't have a full-time marine unit.
Yeah, it sounds like we really need support
Budget
from an
process is
outside
coming, chief. We'll
entity.
explore every avenue.
Might be.
We'll get you certified, Morty.
What's that?
I said, we'll get you certified then. You just raised your hand. I saw that. Everybody else saw it too, didn't they?
Now, beyond Lake Clark Shores and Fish and Wildlife, do we need to reach out to the county to get some kind of assistance? I know we're going to reach out to PVSO from the marine side.
We're going to we're taking this very seriously. We're reaching out to everybody. We're trying to,
Because they said
We're
they control
developing a
Lake
plan.
Osborne to a certain point. Maybe we need to start having a continuous control.
we're talking about this on bi-weekly period, weekly. We're talking about it more than weekly.
Any other comments?
No, thank you very much for answering all of my questions. I appreciate what you guys are doing out there.
I'm not using my dock if the town wants to use it.
Thank you. Thank you, Morty. Okay.
Joe?
All right. My staff report, the staff report actually. Next meeting is on the regular Tuesday, the second Tuesday. It's May 13th. Then, as you know, on June, we're trying to change it to June 3rd, which is the first Tuesday. Upcoming events, we got the lake and land cleanup on April 26th. We got a food truck event on May 30th, Friday. And then we got the summer fishing camp scheduled for July 28th to August 1st. Pine Tree Bridge still on schedule. They did find all that debris under the water. It basically, it was buried under the water level. That we're working out a change order on that. You all should see that shortly in upcoming months. Good news on the 5-year county program. We did speak with the county engineer, and they are doing Florida Mangoes project from 10th to Edgewater Drive. So that's on schedule. It's actually going to start the second part of this year. We're working on the Mar-a-Lago Cay water project where we have 600 new customers. Also good news, DOT reached out to me and said they're going to do a project on Forest Hill Boulevard of major improvement, not just of repaving. They're going to do some sidewalks, some curb work. So we're starting, I like to be really proactive on this and be ready. We're starting a list of things to ask for when they actually meet with us. It's early. This is not going to be done till 2026 when they actually start the planning of next year, but things of this nature, this is what we're putting together. We'd like to see wider sidewalks, maybe possibly some way to have a safer way to get golf carts across Forest Hill Boulevard. The wider sidewalks would help with, obviously, with pedestrians and with the golf carts. We're looking at maybe some landscape improvements, some signage improvements, some traffic. You know, we were asked before about don't blocking the box on Forest Hill and Pine Tree Road, Pine Tree Lane. So those are the things that we just starting to do a list. So I know some of you have already added this to this list. So please, if you have anything, any other ideas, let me know, because we're gonna ask for a lot of things and see what we can get. The next item is we're still doing the repaving project. We finished the data collection portion, which is big. Now we're reviewing the data. Next step, we'll develop a plan and work on a presentation for our June meeting. We're re-roofing that utility building where we're basically gutting the whole building. The light posts still haven't even heard that they're coming April 11th, but it's scheduled for April 11th that the fixtures will be at Community Park. Greg and John and Bridget, we all attended the Florida League of Cities Legislative Days last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. And this is where we look at things that the legislature's passing that we like and don't like, and also we promote our own appropriations and requests. But there's some bad bills out there that would end our CRA, would increase our insurance premiums drastically, would restrict our utility operations. So it's very useful and very effective that we go up there. I actually had a meeting, Representative Tendrich set up a meeting for today for the CRA representative who's promoting that bill. We had a discussion with him today, a phone conversation. We had the CRA's, Delray CRA, the Lake Worth CRA, and myself on the phone. So pretty good work by our freshman representative. You know, we're going to automated collection on utilities in May. The movie night went great. A couple council members were there. They saw that. I thought it went well. Fishing tournament was postponed. We have to make an announcement for a surplus sales of an auction. This is per Florida statute. We're going to sell an old car, a 2002 Ford Taurus, some computer equipment, some bikes, a canoe, police equipment, playground equipment. Just have to mention that and put that on the record. You asked to us to get some more subscribers for the Buzz and social media. We're working that campaign. I wrote there was 11% increase or 85. That was last week. Checked it today. It's 125 new subscribers and 50%.
Awesome.
So it is working. And Emily, can you put up that picture again? Because we've been getting great feedback on this Lake Worth, obviously on our, I like the way Chris.
We got top billing.
That was perfect, Christy, when you said that. We got top building on our sign on I-95. So getting a lot of good feedback on that.
Get your kicks at exit 66.
That's
our slogan.
That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you.
Any questions? I'm here.
Any questions? Council comments? I'd like to thank everybody who spoke earlier concerning the boats and the jet skis and those issues. I knew that there were some issues in that regard, but I didn't know how serious it was. I especially want to thank John for his very well thought out presentation, which also included solutions. Kudos and applause to him. I actually had the chance this week to be sheriff for a day. And one of the things, I was on the Marine unit, but none of their boats would fit underneath our bridges. But those boats could make a turn like nobody's business. But as you know, I love my challenge coins, and we went to 10 different departments, and one of them handed me a challenge coin, and I just stuck it in my pocket. I didn't look at it. When I got home, I noticed at the back of it was scripture. It says Isaiah 6:8, "Here am I, send me." which is a great verse. Here am I, send me. Then when I turned it over, bomb squad. Now, that's dedication. So anyway, I left the day just, I've always felt incredibly safe with chief and assistant chief over here in charge in Lake Clark Shores. But I left the day being incredibly impressed with all the work that the sheriff's office does. And I turned to my son halfway through the day and I said, criminals don't stand a chance. And he said, every teenage boy ought to be brought on this trip. So anyway, kudos to the sheriff's department.
I echo those sentiments. I was pretty horrified, like I said earlier, about some of the incidences that have taken place. And I do believe the only thing that's really going to prevent that or stop it ongoing is going to be the citations and really monitoring what's happening. And I recognize that we are going to need support from some other agencies here. So I look forward to hearing more about how that is taking place, that immediate action that's going to be taking place. Joe, and I know you're really leading those efforts with all of our agencies forward. I would hate for there to be an incident and for media reporting on that incident to be the reason that PBSO or someone comes out finally to support us, because these guys can only do so much and be in so many places to keep us safe, which I'm very grateful for. This is the most incredible neighborhood I've ever lived in. And I genuinely feel safe every day here with my family and my son. And I tell everybody that, and kudos to you guys for what you are doing. I also want to just thank the staff, as always, for their tremendous job at movie night. Wild Robot was a big hit with my little guy, but it was very well attended. You guys really always go the extra mile. And we had some new faces, new residents that came out and were excited to participate and introduce themselves. And thank you very, very much. And congratulations, Mayor Keating, Vice Mayor Mosbach. I look forward to working with you both.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to say first, thank you to everyone who came out and shared their comments and thoughts and brought their concerns to this council. Hopefully you felt like we listened, we're taking notes, we're taking some steps to make this town safe and do all those things. I also wanted, Pete was he had a lot going on, but I got to the gist of it. The road needs to be paved, and Pine Tree is definitely one of those things that are a focus of this council and have been and will be once this bridge is all up and running, everyone can cross it safely, and that'll be good. Chief, I wanted to ask you, is it possible? I know a lot of people, I've had random people come up to me on a pickleball court and ask me about that golf cart situation. And is it possible to get something up on the website or get something so residents can know that, we are resolving that safely without, security and, all the things that you have to protect on your end? Is it a way to get some kind of information to the residents to let them know that you guys are on top of that and there is movement and things are happening?
We are on top of it. And
Absolutely.
I'll get with assistant chief and the manager. Maybe we can come up with some, but you got to remember, you have children involved and you have adults and all kinds of HIPAA issues.
Yeah.
I got 6, 7 other people involved from another department that didn't want information released, and there's reasons for that. So, but I'll get with the manager and we'll come up with something.
Okay. Yeah. Something as simple as, hey, we're just an ongoing investigation of that golf cart. We are on top of it, blah, 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 blah. If it's legally viable, then that would be helpful, because I've had random people ask me about it who don't even live in Lake Clark Shores about the golf cart situation. So, want people in the community to know this is a safe place to live. And even if you're riding a golf cart, you won't get ran over. I guess that's that's how people feel, and something like that happens. But again, thank you everyone showing up. Congratulations, Mayor, and thank you guys. Thank you, Chief.
Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
And congratulations to the University of Florida men's basketball team. That's all I have.
My daughter committed to Florida.
Because of that.
She got accepted.
Right choice.
She's
I
going
want
to
to
Florida.
thank the council for the confidence in me. As wanted to thank the staff for all they do, and hopefully they'll continue to walk me through this process. I am now a rookie in the position, but I happily take it over, and I'll continue to work with you guys in a different capacity, but we're all still council members. So thank you.
Right.
Meeting adjourned.
No.
So moved.
Motion.
You
We need a
gotta-
motion.
Yeah, you gotta make a motion. I did say, I
Second.
did so move it.
Second.
Second.
Aye.
Now we're adjourned.
All right.
Yes.